Devon trackside. Push is about to come to shove as Moto3 Q2 brings the battle for pole here at the Sachsenring, our home of the German GP. Q1 is in the books. Q2 is coming up very, very shortly indeed, and we have got a proper star-studded lineup once again in this one. The top 14 were all sorted out on Friday afternoon, and come Saturday afternoon we've got 4 very intriguing additions in this one, and one that perhaps wasn't a total surprise at all. The crowd have flocked in from far and wide. This is always one of the best attended Grand Prix on the calendar. It's always one that I think we all recommend a few friends to come to. It really is brilliant. You're not that far away from Dresden or even Chemnitz has its charms and its quirks just half an hour down the road. But also all the villages around here, they are fantastic. Coming up in this one in Moto3 Q2, Veda ega, as well as Joel Esteban, Eddie O'Shea, Jesus Rios, Alvaro Carpe, Marco Morelli, Hakim Danish, Cormac Buchanan, a great job by Cormac Buchanan to get through, Matteo Bertali, Ryusei Yamanaka, Brian Ariarte, Scott Ogden, Joel Kelso and Rico Salmella. They will be joined by Casey O'Gorman, Max Keeler, your championship leader, Adrian Fernandez and Adrian Cruces. You're up in comms with myself, Kiko Giles. Lewis Sotheby is right next to me. Elliot York is patrolling pit lane, no doubt, ready and waiting for a story. But Lewis, coming up in this one, it's going to be really, really fast. It's going to be intense. And I've got to say, it's quite unpredictable already.
Yeah, in practice yesterday, the top 14, the 14 that were already through the Q2 before the session we just watched, they were covered by less than 4/10 of a second, so it is going to be very, very difficult to call this qualifying session. Potentially the favourite, well, if you're basing on practice yesterday, maybe Veda ega is the favourite for pole position. Would of course be a first if he could take it in this session. Your pedigree around this circuit, look no further than Veda ega, winner in the Red Bull Rookies here 1 year ago.
Yeah, and he, from memory, didn't make it too easy for himself either. I think he had to come off, what was it, the 3rd row of the grid, 7th place, so a lot of work done by Veda ega, who has had an up and down weekend, but definitely on the up overall in Moto3. Right, we didn't quite get a chance to get down to him in Q1, so let's make up for it right now. L, who have you got?
Yeah, cheers, gents. A few technical gremlins down here, hence the radio silence in Q1. But I've got Nico Terrell waiting with me. Nico, great to chat to you. It's been a more stressful weekend so far. Obviously, Maximo crashing in practice yesterday. Got through Q1. How is he feeling and how are the team feeling ahead of Q2?
Yeah, like you say, it's not... We started with some crisis from Massimo's side. Yesterday he had a big one, but anyway, he had now after Q1 a good feeling. He say it's not the best grip in the afternoon because yesterday he don't did some laps because he crashed in the first lap. But anyway, he say with the bike he have a very good feeling, and after this sometimes happen when you are battle for title and for victories. But he's now in a good way after the Q1.
We saw him have a crash this morning and he looks very frustrated. Was that just within himself or is something like not quite clicking this weekend?
Yeah, he say this morning that after this crash, he say he sometimes want to be more fast, but anyway, he had a very good job because he ride in P1 and very good pace. And he says sorry for the team for the crash, but anyway, sometimes happen when you push on the limit like Maximo style.
Does he have a new set of tyres, fresh tyres for this session for Q2?
Yeah, they are different. With Maximo, we're going with the hard one because he have a very good feeling, and with Marco with the soft one because it's important to have a good lap.
You mentioned Marco there, got to come on to the 97, a great podium in Assen last time out. He looks a really confident rider and sounded like he's started the weekend really well. So how's he feeling heading into qualifying?
No, Marco is in a very good moment. I like from Marco area he's one rider that he's going alone and he have a very good feeling. He don't crash too much. He's one rider for the future, and after a Assen podium, this gives the riders a comfortable feeling and is ready to battle also here for top 3.
Thank you, Nico, and good luck for the session.
Thank you.
Thank you to Al, thank you to Nico. We are just now a second away from getting underway. The pit lane has opened and Moto3 takes to the track for what is going to be 15 very intense minutes to to be having to come through the field tomorrow. Of course, 18 riders in this one, the 14 that were already seeded through from yesterday, and the 4 that we've just seen come through Q1. And yesterday's anything to go by. Veda ega had the pace, although his lap time was decimated this morning by Max Keeler's. And a little bit of cloud cover has just come over a bit of this Sachsenring circuit, so keep temperatures from rising a little bit too far in this track, getting a bit too greasy.
Could potentially lead to another all-time record this afternoon in this Q2 session. 12 KTMs and 6 Hondas in this Q2 session. Hondas first, third and fourth at the end of practice yesterday. Veda ega, Eddie O'Shea for the Grid Racing Squad, and Jesus Rios, fresh from his fine performance back in Assen last time out, continuing to make major strides in his rookie season. Of course, that was a practice session which obviously took place without championship leader Max Keeler, but certainly the Honda working nicely around the Sachsenring.
It is indeed, and the Honda package, step by step across multiple teams, seems to be getting there. We saw Guido Fini's already taken a victory this year. For Leopard, Veda ega has been on the podium. Jesus Rios, Eddie O'Shea, Joel Kelso, they've all had their moments this year. And exactly, Casey Gorman has been brilliant and going gangbusters up in the top 10 at times, and also a front row. So right across the board, the Honda is seemingly just starting to step it up. It's not quite on the level of the KTM just yet, but it's definitely far more competitive. Okay then, Max Keeler's it is, who leads the way through this track, and he's got his teammates in tow, so Marco Runny, well, he can do a lot worse than follow Max Keeler's around the Sachsenring. Of course, Keeler's fastest so far this weekend, but by no means the most consistent, let's say.
Then chattering away for Keeler as he climbed up from the Omega of turn 3 into 4. Season with the elevation change around this Sachsenring circuit as we now drop downhill through the left-hander of 7. We gradually start to climb back uphill now as we round our way through 8 and now up into 9, up to the Ralph Baldwin curve, the first right-hander after those 7 consecutive lefts, where we start to plunge back downhill again.
Yeah, back down the waterfall. This is it. This is the corner throughout the years has caused quite a lot of team owners some heartache and some worries in the bank account, because it is normally quite a big one if you go down there, but everyone's safely through thus far. Keeler's it is who runs out, take the Valens Zipperoni line almost from Q1 and right out to that curve and right out to the gravel. Coming through Queckenberg and then up the hill, but a slipstreaming coming here from Marco Morelli. Let's see what the times are. 25.7, 25.2,
for the weekend.
and the fastest of the weekend by Marco Morelli, who has gone full screen biting mode into P1. So great job by the Argentinian. Just behind, Matteo Bertelli's gone third. Brian Uriarte has gone up into P1 by 0.005 of a second off screen. Brian Uriarte, fantastic job by the number 51. Well, he likes it round here from his Red Bull rookies days, but he's on provisional pole here today already after opening up 125.225.
Yeah, I mentioned that Veda ega won a Red Bull rookies race last year. Brian Uriarte won the other, so he's also super strong around this circuit. Of course, we have already seen Uriarte this season on the front row of the grid, although he is still officially, after what happened in Barcelona, or post-Barcelona, chasing a maiden pole in the class.
Let's see what the two Aspar guys can do. They've lost a little bit of time in that second sector as they come up to the very top of the hill now, and then they tilt to right. Ooh, we get a load of light in our face coming down through the hill. Marco Morelli.
24 coming here for Uriarte if he keeps this up.
I was going to say, it could be rapid from Brian Uriarte. I don't know what he's had for breakfast, but he is going great guns in a minute. Keeler bails out. Doesn't want to give his teammate too much information, but Morelli's already half a second off. And just looking elsewhere around the timing screens, no one is able to do what Brian Uriarte is doing at the moment. We pick up the 51 now, who charges over down towards the final corner. Let's see if he can improve again. He lost a bit of time in that third sector. Can he make some up in the fourth sector? We're looking at the 124 perhaps. Not this time. And in fact, it did go away in the second half of that lap for Brian Uriarte. So at the moment, it's Uriarte from Morelli. Now Adrian Fernandez has just squeezed onto that provisional front row. Keeler's going well, and so is Yamanaka and Dinesh through the opening sector, red sectors.
Yeah, we've heard so far this weekend in Moto2 and in Moto3 that generally you get one, or if you're lucky, here in qualifying trim, and I do wonder whether Uriarte potentially just took a little bit of oil out of his tyres. It's worked, clearly, because he's on provisional pole at the moment, but 3/4 tenths up at the first sort of checkpoint or two on his second lap, and then it fell away for him, potentially just the tyre starting to drop away as the very best of the grip falls away from those Pirelli tyres on lap 2 for Uriarte.
Yeah, and this is what's impressive about Keyles's lap, because I make this his third lap at the moment, so he's still in touch. Let's see if it drops away to that third sector. He comes down, and indeed it did. So, yeah, it's not a lot of life left in these tyres at the moment. Still red sectors, though. But you get the feeling that maybe in this second half, it's not going to be the case, and then we're going to have to change rubber.
Yeah, it's in that third sector where you really are punishing the left-hand side of the tyre. You saw it there again for Uriarte, lost 6/10 of a second. He was fast in the first half of the lap, but couldn't sustain it as the lap went on. Here is Hakim Danish. Typically, the number 13 was in P13. He's just climbed a spot now onto row 4. At the moment, he'll be starting right alongside his MSI teammate, Ryusei Yamanaka.
Yeah, and that's been a bit of an upturn in form for the Japanese rider as well, because Yamanaka has not been at the races too much this year, but he's starting to come back this weekend, and his pace actually across Friday looks like he may well be in the podium fight. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, because Sunday it can all change. Veda ega in the box then, and at the moment it's sitting in provisional P1. Veda ega's personal best qualifying, I have it, is third place from Catalonia. Matched last time out actually in Athens, so get to have a pole. It would be some place to do it, at the place where he's had a lot of success in those Red Bull rookie races.
Third in Hungary as well, did Brian Uriarte. Jesus Rios is another rider who's at the moment in career best territory. In fact, he's going to match his career best of fit, which he's already set on 3 previous occasions this season. The 54, of course, not a former Red Bull rookie. He's a product of the Junior GP, the Moto Junior category. So this is a first visit to the Saxon ring for Rios, but he's looking at home in the Saxon ring.
Rios is really impressing me. Ever since we got from Catalonia, that was our first real glimpse of what he could do. He has fought for titles, of course, in the Junior GP world, but off the back of that rather splendid performance last time out when he was 5th at the checkered flag, his first top 5 in Grand Prix racing, Jesus Rios has really looked the business for Mirko Cecchini's Riva Cold Snipers team. We'll just have to wait and see whether he gets it converted at the checkered flag today. Keyless in. Now they're definitely going to change rubber for this one, and then with 7 minutes on the clock, Keyless will be going for broke and going for pole.
Clear strategy at Red Bull KTM IO to send their riders straight back out again with a fresh set of boots, because both Uriarte and Carpe are already on their outlaps of their second run. The rider that has gone with them is Joel Kelso, and Kelso potentially looking for a bit of a tow around this Saxon ring circuit from the IO pair, because he is our slowest rider at the moment in this Q2 session. Kelso hasn't been able to lap this circuit under 90 seconds so far. I'm sure he will once he gets a clean lap underway.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't had a clean lap at all, has he, at the moment? Less than 7 minutes on the clock, then let's just run you through what we've seen so far. Brian Uriarte is your top dog ahead of Marco Morelli and Adrian Fernandez. Carpe, Rios once again in that 5th place. How many times has he been put in that 5th place in a qualifying section? 6th for championship leader Max Keyless. Vitali, O'Shea, Ogden, 2 Brits up inside the top 9. And Adrian Cruz says late graduates from Q1 up in 10th place. Yamanaka, Danish, Patama fastest on Friday in 13th. Buchanan 14th. Esteban, Salmela, Casey Gorman and Joel Kelso are all about to go absolutely to the limit to see exactly what they can come up with. Can they put in a charge for pole position? The bikes start to exit pit lane, and now they will all leave in a big flurry, and there's absolutely no chance that Max Keyless can have a flying lap scuffle this time on the approach to turn 1. Instead, it may well be Joel Kelso. They'll have to be looking behind them, as Kelso's already there.
Yeah, sideways for Carpe on the second of the IO KTMs, who's up behind Uriarte. They feed out into the middle of all that traffic. Esteban wisely staying out of the way to not get in the way of that group. He's on the second of the MTA KTMs. Esteban currently in 15th. His teammate, P13, by the way, up in 7th at the moment. If he hangs on to that would be his best qualifying of 2026.
Let's have a look up through the order as well. Let's keep an eye on Eddie O'Shea and also Scott Ogden. Before we get into the final 5 minutes, let's cross back down to pit lane. Al, what have you got?
Yeah, just wanted to mention Jesus Rios going out there all on his own. That was a bit of a mistake from either Rios or the team. Mirko Cecchini, the team manager, not happy because he went out all alone, and the pack you saw around about 30 seconds later all went out. So not sure if Rios is going to be able to get into the pack and try and get a slipstream, but the team not happy with his position.
25.537 is Jesus Rios' lap time at the moment, so he's vulnerable. Look at the red sectors incoming here. Brian Uriarte with that fresh rubber. I tell you what, he's on course for a 124 here. That would be something a bit special. 24.7's the outright lap record, so let's see if we can get near it. Brian Uriarte's in the final corner now. He's already provisional pole. He rides the edge of the curve. Let's see what he's got. Kelso goes for it. Uriarte into the 24s of 24.8. His teammate goes second. Alvaro Carpe on a 25.1. Just a quarter of a second adrift of his rookie teammate. Marco Morelli still there in third. So KTM lock out the front row. But it's the Red Bull KTM IO squad that house a 1-2 at the moment.
Quite a qualifying record actually as Uriarte. He's 6-4 up in the qualifying head-to-head versus his teammate Alvaro Carpe. That will become 7-4, and more importantly for Uriarte, a maiden pole as it stands. Carpe though of course needs to keep out of the way now. He's done his time lap. He gets picked up by Adrian Fernandez as they round turn 4.
And Quiles picks up Cruces as well. Quiles is charging around here. And the Saxon contender through sector 1. He's trying to get under Carpe as well if he can. Once Quiles got through this second sector, time goes away from him, and Carpe's been really duffed up through there. So Carpe now off the track altogether, but was first picked up by Quiles, and then it was Cruces. So they're coming through. Turns 10, this is 11. Red sectors everywhere, including for Danish and Marco Morelli.
Two rookies flying at the moment further back down the path. They're all in the same group of riders on the restaurant. You'll see Morelli and Danish at the back of the picture, so keep an eye for them. Quiles at the moment on course for 6th. He might get shuffled a row or two back down the grid as it stands.
Uriarte's getting out the way he needs to, because Fernandez and Quiles are coming on through. This is turn 13, climbing the hill, asks for the power and a little bit of slipstream. Quiles, 7th at the moment, goes up to 2nd. But what does Danish or Morelli do anything special? No, they can't quite topple Brian Uriarte. Morelli improved his time, and Danish likewise. We've got the front row at the moment covered by less than 300ths of a second.
3 rookies all on the front row of the grid at the moment. Uriarte, Morelli and Danish. Morelli has rolled out of it, still 3 minutes to go, but does he have anything left in his tyres to attack again and potentially challenge for a first career pole position? It would at least be a first Moto3 front row as it stands for Marco Morelli.
Lots of dawdling around the Omega corner. That's turn 3, and they try and filter back in. Quiles gets out the way down the exit turn 4, as does Cruces, and now Quiles will set off after his teammate Marco Morelli. Good intelligent riding this as well from Adrian Cruces. He's down in 17th, but he's not letting the championship leader out of his sights.
Big first sector for Veda ega. He's off at the first checkpoint, as is Danish. 2 of our Moto3 Asia products looking to try and get themselves onto pole position or onto the front row. Well, trying to keep an eye on Veda ega. He's been a personal best in the second sector, but Danish at the moment through the third sector, which is going to be completed as he drops down the waterfall now. Sadly, he's lost half a second.
Vitaly dive bombing Ryusei Yamanaka. That's at turn 12. Vitaly's time has also gone away. I think, as we were saying earlier, Lewis, that third sector, that punishing third sector on the side of the tyre, it is just taking a little bit of life out. Jesus Rios was in that group. A lot of traffic, so let's see exactly how much he's lost. He looks a little bit flustered. He's in 11th, and he moves up to 8th place. So salvage is something at least in number 54.
So we've now got, what have we got? Rookies, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 8th. With Salmela 6th, 2nd row of the grid as it stands for the Finn. And Jesus Rios, he was surely delayed with all that traffic in the final sector, still got himself onto the middle of row 3.
And the fastest rookie yesterday was this rider here. He's 13th, so it's not a disaster by Veda ega. We know he'll come through, but rookie's running riot. Up inside the top 10 at the moment, whilst it's 5 rookies inside the top 8 places. Fantastic stuff from the class of 2026 in Moto3.
Obviously, a shout out to Cormac Buchanan, by the way, as well, who's gone 11th. His best qualifying was here last year. This is Danish going the wrong side of the curve and almost losing the sight of the rear tyre of Joel Esteban.
Did well to save that one, and thankfully for everyone else, no yellow flags out at the moment here in Moto3 Q2. We're less than a minute from home, and at the moment Brian Uriarte is looking on course for what would be a first pole position in Moto3 in an all-rookie front row 2. We'll have to wait and see if that's how it all ends. Quiles, well, he's trying to get onto the front row. The time's gone away from him in that third sector. As we so often see, we're at the final corner with Ryusei Yamanaka, who at the moment looking for a top 10, and it would be, at the moment, I think 15 seconds on the clock. No one else is improving around him.
Would be his best qualifying since Brazil. Quiles, fair play to Quiles, has still found time, despite the best clearly having gone from those prototypes. He jumps up ahead of Carpe into 4th place on a 25-1. Given that he started the day in qualifying 1, I think Max Quiles will be reasonably happy with that.
Yeah, he can be pretty happy. I mean, the front 2 rows here, you don't want to be any further back ideally, because it does get very tight on the opening. Look, Quiles almost running into the back of Jesus Rios, who Rios is still out there. We've got red sectors through these first sectors, but there's just not a lot really else going on when we get through sector 2 and sector 3. Quiles though, 2 tenths under, it's not all done yet.
Yeah, at least Quiles has given himself a bit of margin if it does start to drop away through sector 2, particularly as we saw in Q1. Sector 3 is where you start to drop away if you've not got the explosive grip from some brand new Pirelli tyres, which will be now, 2-3 laps old, as Quiles now makes his way through that 3rd sector. If he can keep himself in touch with Uriarte here, then he might still have a shot of breaking onto the front row.
Rios is only a tenth and a half off as it stands. We'll have to wait and see what it is through there. Now 1/4 of a second off. Rios, even though he's going great through the 3rd sector, if he can hold that to the line, he would be on course to improve. So we'll have to wait and see. He's getting under Cormac with Cannon now. That's at the final bubble, so that won't have helped his cause. The checkered flag is out. I don't think we're going to get any late improvements. Quiles indeed will start from the head of the 2nd row, and there are no other changes elsewhere. So we get a brand new pole sitter, Lewis. Brian Uriarte has done the business at the place where he was a winner here last year in Red Bull Rookies, as well as a pole sitter. Fantastic from Brian Uriarte. 2nd for Marco Morelli on the front row. A great job by the Argentinian. That is also his best qualifying, and it's a front row for the first time for him. And Hakim Danish, our Grand Prix winner from Brno, he completes it. Rookies 1st, 2nd and 3rd.
4 front row qualifying for Hakim Danish. Of course, Nick